Oftentimes, when you are dealing with a pathological narcissist, you are also dealing with a highly sadistic individual. And this means that you're interacting with someone that takes pleasure from you being in pain. You see, narcissists are essentially wired backwards. They are based in their shame and they cannot move past their pride. And we're here to spiritually evolve, but pathological narcissists abandon their spirits in childhood. They abandon themselves in childhood for a false self. So understand that people, the ego has an insatiable desire. And think of the ego like a pit with no bottom. Just like there is no bottom to hell. We cannot satiate the ego. Additionally, the ego cannot self-reflect because it's a false self. So if you're dealing with a pathological narcissist, you're dealing with someone that also cannot self-reflect. And they cannot self-reflect because they don't have a self. Again, they abandoned themselves in childhood. So oftentimes when I say that pathological narcissists have abandoned themselves in childhood, then people ask, well, how did they abandon themselves? And I say, just like how you were abandoning yourself in that entanglement. Let's say it was an intimate relationship. Let's say it was a friendship. Let's say it was a parental relationship. So just like how you were abandoning yourself, that is the same way that pathological narcissists abandon themselves. You abandon yourself when you do not make decisions that are in your best interest and the best interest of others around you. So let's say you were in an intimate relationship and your intuition was ringing bells, but you didn't know how to truly discern what your intuition was saying. And you remained in that intimate relationship and the narcissist was cheating and verbally abusing you and so on. That is abandoning yourself. So, as it relates to pathological narcissist people, you're dealing with people that have very low self-esteem. How low? We're talking pathologically low, dysfunctionally low. And it is this low self-esteem again because they hate themselves, they abandon themselves for a false self. So they wear a mask. What you're dealing with today is someone that wears a mask and they do not truly want to take this mask off. Because you will see when you question them, well, they have a narcissistic injury. And a narcissistic injury essentially is when the pathological narcissist perceives a threat, whether real or imagined. So it could be real or made up. That goes against that mask. So instead of growing into a true self, pathological narcissists grew into a false self. This is why you have to boost their ego. They are ego maniacs. They are ego first and spirit last, you see. When it should be spirit first and ego last. Pathological narcissists are wired backwards. And because they are wired backwards, then they cannot grow. And because they cannot grow, then they will regress. Pathological narcissism is regressive. They get worse with time. They age like milk. They do not age like wine. Again, we are here to spiritually evolve, but pathological narcissists abandon their spirits in childhood. So essentially, what you're dealing with today is a walking void. Again, you cannot satiate the ego. The ego always needs to be fed. It always needs supply. And this is why you hear me state often on this channel that every single day a mosquito wakes up. That mosquito knows it needs to find a host because mosquitoes are parasites. And similarly, every single day a pathological narcissist wakes up, they need to find supply. They need to satiate that ego because today they are an ego being. They are an ego maniac. They are ego first and spirit last. They are 95% ego and 5% spirit. Their spirits are shriveling up the more they walk around here on this planet. You cannot grow with an ego maniac. Egomaniacs are done growing. Remember again, people, pathological narcissists believe that they're perfect. Perfect people don't need to change. Perfect people are done growing. And if they're not growing, then this is why they regress. This is why they age like milk. So understand that you are dealing with someone where in their world, it is Groundhog's Day every single because they're going around in circles. They're based in shame and they cannot move past their pride. Pride comes before the fall, they fall right back down to shame. They've been stuck in this cycle, people, since their childhood years, long before you came into the picture. So I truly want you to understand that the pathological narcissist behavior has nothing to do with you. You are dealing with a highly disordered individual. They are dark at the spirit level, and this darkness has spread to their psyche. This is why clinicians refer to this as a personality disorder. The entire psyche is disorder. The personality, people, is disorder. They are lost souls. They are dark souls. And because they are stuck in darkness, well, you will also have to be stuck in darkness with them, because they're going to pull you down into misery. They're going to pull you down into the suffering state that they are in, because, again, they lack the ability to ascend. Understand that pathological narcissists will never, ever, ever put down their pride for you. Their pride is their superpower. Again, this is where their ego comes from. This is where their grandiosity comes from, which is that false confidence. It is not true confidence, but pathological narcissists, again, people are incapable of letting go of their pride. So they'll go right back down to shame to go through another shame pride cycle. That's a narcissistic abuse cycle. It is a cycle. Hence, understand that you are the only one that can break this cycle, because, again, you're dealing with a highly dysfunctional individual. They have psycho-spiritual arrested development. They are going around in circles, but you can get yourself off that demonic carousel. And people, that really is the quick message for today. As always, remember to pour all of that love and kindness and compassion back into yourself, and that is how you heal. If you're pouring into a pathological narcissist, you are pouring into a black hole. You are communing with a liability. They are not an asset. They are not growing. They are not appreciating in value. They are regressing. They are depreciating. So it is important that you get the courage to walk away and stay away from these disordered individuals and direct all of your love and compassion back to yourself. And that is how you heal. If you're pouring into a black hole, you really are wasting your energy. So again, divert all of that energy back to yourself. And this is how you heal, by putting the oxygen mask on yourself first. That's a quick message for today, kind folks. Ensuring that you're liking these videos. Ensure that you're subscribed for more important content. If you need a one-on-one session, go ahead and check out the narcdojo.com website. That is narcdojo.com. Or you can send an email to narcdojo@gmail.com. Again, that is narcdojo@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching. Sheikah is the name. I'll see you in the next video.